Hello and welcome to this video for Liliana. We are showcasing the Casino Liliana deck, whereby your whole point is to reanimate early on a copy of Soulsever Lich, who is a 9/4 for 9. He has Relentless, so he comes back but can't block. And on attack, he deals damage to your opponent equal to half their health rounded up. Because you are usually reanimating him, he will be a 10/5, which is important because if you give him an invisibility cloak, suddenly he's able to hit for 20. Now, one thing I usually do is I attack with the Lich, they lose half their health, then I invisibility cloak them. That gives them one turn to basically kill me, and if they don't, they will die from a cloaked Lich, dealing them basically 20. The other big target we have is Grimgrin, hulking Skaab. He is a 9/8 for 8. He also has Relentless. And basically, if he's summoned from any graveyard, you turn your opponent's weakest creature into a zombie, and then you gain control of it. So he's a very important card. He lets you take control of a blocker. He also can basically turn all of your opponent's creatures into zombies under your control, comboing with the Grimoire card that we'll get to. And he's also one of your few outs to your opponent's big stuff in the mirror match. You have another zombie to pull out in Grave Titan in this build. It's a 6/6 for 6 that on debut and attack you summon a zombie. So a lot of things summon zombies. The Ghoulcaller's Grimoire is the first very important reanimator targets. It is a 6-cost artifact that has 2 charges. And on activate, you destroy a creature to summon the strongest creature in your graveyard. One very important thing is if you destroy a already used Relentless Grimgrin, and he is the biggest thing in your graveyard, you will get another Grimgrin that still has its Relentless intact to use again. On top of that, you'll turn your opponent's weakest creature into a zombie. It's very powerful stuff. Sometimes you will just do that. You might trade in your Grimgrin, activates Relentless, and pull back a Soulsever Lich, which is also very powerful. We also have Fearsome Return. Summon the strongest creature in your graveyard. And then we have Zombify. Zombify lets you pay 2 to draft a zombie from your graveyard and summon it. So those are our 3 things that reanimate. Those are our reanimation targets. We also have the last creature deck, which is Krav Unredeemed. He is a 7/7 for 4 Trampler. And on debut, you deal 6 damage to a friendly creature or yourself. So sometimes you'll actually just hit him, use his ability, hit Grimgrin or your Soulsever, and basically get out a 7/7 Trampler for free. You're totally fine turning a zombie that you have many ways of summoning into Krav, getting a 4-mana 7/7. You're also totally fine just hitting yourself with 6 sometimes, dropping a turn 3 7/7. That's all seems really powerful. We have a large amount of removal in this deck. We have Flagrant Foul, destroy a creature for 4 mana. We have Infest, give all creatures -2/2. We have Drain Blood, to drain 2 from an enemy creature. We have Unsummon as another blue card in here to return any creature to their hand. Sometimes you will actually return your own creature to your hand to then use a discard outlet and then resummon it if, let's say, it's unable to attack or you just want to reset any properties on that creature if you have a reanimator in hand. We have Grave Disturbance, which summons a zombie when our opponent attacks as a trap, which sometimes can act as a removal. And then we have Fatal Infection to doom an enemy creature. Now, you may be seeing, well, we have a lot of removal, we have some big stuff, and we have stuff to pull stuff back. How do we actually get the stuff in the graveyard? Well, that's where the last cards are. We have Corpse Conveyor, which lets us activate as a 3-cost artifact 2 times, mill the top creature from your deck, and summon a zombie. So the only creatures in our deck are Krav Unredeemed, Grave Titan, Grimgrin, hulking Skaab, and Soulsever Lich, meaning we are guaranteed to get one of those 5 creatures in the graveyard with the effect of our Corpse Conveyor, assuming we did not draw it. Now, if we did draw it, we have the other out, which is Bag of Devouring. Bag of Devouring is a 3-cost artifact with 3 charges, and on activate, we discard the creature in our hand with the lowest cost to draw a card. Now, Most of the time, it's gonna be one of those 5 creatures that we will get in the graveyard and then draw a card versus getting a zombie. A lot of the times you will have bag and nothing to discard, but that's totally fine. Because you may get one, you may just have it. Opponent might want to use a destroy effect. You also have the option of Old Graveyard. Starting turn 7, you get the chance, 30%, to add a random zombie to your hand instead of getting a mana gem. Sometimes you will hit turn 7 and you will get potentially another Grimgrin or another Soulsever Lich or something to just discard to your bag and get another draw. So with this iteration of the deck, a lot of the time you are just going for hitting with some early zombies and getting a one-shot kill with Soulsever Lich. And that is a lot of pretty much the deck, is you look like you're backpedaling most of the game. You get that Corpse Conveyor, you get your Zombify, you get your Lich out, you swing with the Lich, you Invisibility Cloak, and it's GG the next turn. Sometimes you just don't draw anything to mill out your creatures, or any way to discard your creatures, and you just play out a Tornado Grimgrin. It weirdly actually still works. You can still win the game playing a turn 8 Grimgrin or turn 9 Soulsever Lich. That is just how interesting this deck can be. Now, this deck is almost completely foiled out at this point. We just need to get the Ghoulcaller's Grimoire. There is also some other options that are available. Get ahead is to draw the bottom card of your opponent's deck for 1 mana. So it'll let us get a card from our opponent's deck to play in the early game. It's actually been testing very well currently because I've gotten stuff against Sarah where I take their Disciple or I take their Statue. It's aggro to usually give you a blocker. And it's all stuff that doesn't necessarily have to be in your deck. Grizzlebrand Unleashed, 7/7 for 8, Flying Trample. Finale adds 7 random black cards to your hand until your end of turn. They have Pain Cast equal to their mana base cost and cost 0 mana. So he gave you a big refill, potentially early game. You can just play out a bunch of stuff. Sometimes you get more reanimators out of it. And any other cards you don't cast, you just keep in hand. But he was dropped for Krav because Krav is a bit easier to summon and you want to kind of limit how many non-zombie targets you have for your Zombify. Cruel Flagellant. He is a 5/6 or 5 trample. He has Relentless as well, so he'll come back on first death. And on debut, he'll deal 5 damage to himself. Now, if you were to pull him back with your Reanimator, he will just simply be a 6/7 with trample with Relentless, which honestly is really powerful and is a definite consideration over Krav because he also is a zombie. One reason we are not running him is the fact that he is a zombie, meaning our Zombify pool could potentially get diluted with things we don't necessarily desire to reanimate. We might want a Soulsever Lich, and we might only have options of like Cruel Flagellant, a zombie, and Grimgrin, something else, or an old graveyard target. By limiting the number of zombies to just the things we definitely want, we are limiting our Zombify to only give us stuff that we definitely want. But he is definitely an option that might be taken out and used if we have a slightly less aggressive meta. I think he's actually pretty good. And with that, that is the end of the video. And thank you for watching. I will be posting up some gameplay videos shortly after this video will be published. And you may look forward to those. One of them is a 7 games going 6-1 in the event. If you like this video, please feel free to like. If you like this kind of content, please feel free to subscribe. I will also be streaming at some point on Twitch under Boss of Blades. And thank you, have a good night, and I hope your holidays went well.